let's see if we can load one of these up. Like, oh, this was kind of pretty. Let's see what else we want to add. Lots of controls. So we can then add this to... let's add something from Zebra. Oh, yeah, Zebra 2 here. Let's go maybe BPM Synth. Find something that looks like a promising name. Tea Time. Or Twangle. Let's try that. Load that into Twangle. Let's go back to MegaMagic keys. I don't want to make this too thick. It's stuff that you might not have. Let's see. Did I put any grooves in here? Oh, I didn't. Okay, let's do this. Let's use United. Let's go down here to some drum grooves. Never stop. Yeah! Well, this is why it's nice it's a Unify layer, because now I can open this up and just... Hello. Hope you all are doing well. I am doing very well. My name's John Limcool. Welcome to a new live stream. We're playing around with a couple fun things. One of the things in this mix is a free plugin that you can just get from Arturia right now. If you follow my newsletter that comes out every Friday night, there's links to download it in that newsletter. So Augmented Strings costs nothing right now. It's free. Oh, thank you. Love the patches you made for the wave state. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. We've got other things in the works for wave state, but wave state needs an update for library management and samples to work properly. Anyway, so there's a lot to cover. My gosh. Yeah. I love Bin too. I haven't been there in a while. Let's see. So there is a free plugin we're going to look at. This is, let's see if it'll open up and show me the interface. Sometimes it is a little picky. Thank you. So this is the interface for Augmented Strings Intro, a free string library that has a very big knob that says morph. So you know that's a big part of it. Can go from kind of normal to all sorts of other places. We'll be looking at that. Also, this last week, there's been this big announcement of a merger of 3 of the larger companies in our industry into a new company called Soundwide, which is like the most nondescript. I'm not going to say anything, but it's not a name I would have picked. But that company, who knows what they're going to do, but to celebrate, these guys are just giving away expensive plugins for free, especially Plugin Alliance. Native Instruments and Isotope are a lot more subdued with their celebration, but Plugin Alliance has gone kind of crazy, and 6 of their amazing plugins, let's see, Plugin Alliance, let's get over here to their, where would we find, I should look at my newsletter to get the link. It's a $249 plugin. I was part of the voicing team that voiced this plugin. And we have unified the patches, and it's a really, really cool version of basically the SCM module from Oberhausen. It's very raw sounding. It's able to sound nice and warm as well. Do you guys want this patch? This is a patch using Augmented Strings, MegaMagic keys, and Zebra 2. I can save it out if anybody says yes. So I'll wait to see if there's any yeses in the... This patch? Okay. Yes, okay. All these yips. And then let's do this. Let's take it a little bit farther. I want to set up the drums. Let's go over here to knob 9 to linked parameters. All these yeses. Okay, so we're going to go over here to instrument 9, the drums, and I'm going to choose MIDI enable. And this will be the drums on and off. So that when it's down, you see it's grayed out. And let's do the same. Actually, let's do this. I'm going to copy this knob and paste it here. And then I want this one to actually be zebra, the zebra patch. 2 on and off. And since this is based on a knob that was already assigned, I can click the little bullet right here. And this is where you go to replace, which is reassigning any assignment. And let's go here, and that's right here, this guy. So same thing, MIDI enable. And that will change this to where now I can enable and disable. And just for fun, let's do this. We'll say I want this to be pump house on and off for Augmented Strings. Augmented Strings, pump house. So let's open up and go over here. Now, this is a Unify layer. So instead of seeing all the parameters, I'm looking at the knob assignments, which I have many for. One here called Pump House is right there. So that's the depth. So I can bring that down to where... Oh, and we got seagulls. Is that over here on a knob? Yes. You can tell it's also changing other things in the sounds. So what I might do is do this. I'm going to go copy this knob. Then I'm going to go in here and I'm going to delete that parameter for the mix level. And then I'm going to go over here and say paste this knob. Paste knob. And now I have the ocean volume, and that's separate from the modulation wheel. So that this is mod wheel. So I want to separate things because we have so many knobs to play with. Right? And maybe we should add one more for the AS strings volume. Did I spell that wrong? I probably spelled it wrong. And I'm going to go over here to my parameters, and I'm going to assign, but I'm going to assign it this way. I want to use this option right here because this says from 0 to whatever the current value is. So I'm going to use this to go to Del Mar to the mix level, and it says, okay, so that's my current mix level, 13.5. So I'm going to move this higher, and then I'm going to move this back to where it says 13.5, because that way that resets this knob at that position that equals the way I want it to be when I call it up. But now I see it's about 75%, so I have some place to play. So we trigger our ocean. Hello, ocean. Why isn't my ocean playing? Let's see. Trigger box was probably looking for a mod wheel. Let's see. Let's show the details. Yeah, it's looking at MIDI CC1. This isn't sending MIDI CC1 anymore. So we need to trigger it. We don't have note on here, but we could say note on triggers output note. So that way it will trigger it, but the volume isn't going to show up. Huh? Let's do this. Let's just bypass trigger box because I don't think we need it because I have the volume control. I can bring it up or down. And I'm going to do this to the ocean. I want it to be a fixed pitched. Right there. I'm going to clean it up a little bit. Let's go over here to EQ, filter max, high pass filter it. It needs a little bit of the ocean. Now I will say applied, the augmented strings is a CPU heavy, as you can see. But now I've got access to turning things on and off if I want them. I can add pump house anytime I'm ready for the strings. Getting ready for the groove. Bring this up. And again, this groove could be any plugin playing any groove that you so desire. Okay, so that's pretty well thought out at this point. So let's have the ocean very soft. So it'll call up like this. Okay, so let's go save, Z key, very happy place. And this uses, let's see, uses MegaMagic keys 2. United for the drum groove, volume 1 for the drum groove, and Zebra 2. And Augmented Strings by intro Arturia, because at some point I'm expecting them to bring out a bigger version of their augmented strings. So save as, and we'll save this to, excuse me, user library, save as, save, and let's get it to you guys. So I need to go over here to my user library. I'll show you the steps along the way, because this is all about educating you guys. That's why I do this. So very happy place is right here. So I don't really need to compress it because it's a type of file that the internet is not going to strip anything from. So I go over here to my PlugInGuru freebies folder, which you can't see, and I put it over there. And then I grab a link, copy Dropbox link, and boom, there you go. And let's edit, and I'll put this into the bonus patch for Augmented Strings, Augmented Strings intro, MegaMagic keys, United, volume 1, and Zebra 2, Phew. And there it is. So it's in the video chat description now as well, if you guys want to try it. All right, so we're going to do some more programming at the end of this live stream because I have a library coming out on Thursday, and I hope to make some patches with you guys for it. And I'll announce right now what it is. It is Del Norte EDM Chill. The full version is coming to Unify on Thursday. And I am thrilled to bring this to you guys. It's one of my favorite libraries. I went to the Redwoods right at the time when lupin and all the beautiful flowers were blooming, and took photographs and traveled around. And I took photos. And so this library is continuing my dream of combining images and music and sound. So a lot of these patches, the interface of Unify can totally go away. And this is the Boy Scout. It's one of the largest in the Redwoods of the Redwoods. And it's just incredible. It takes a hike to get to here. Other patches that are in the library. And again, you get visuals to go with the sound. And I've done some fun stuff to real-time controls so you have the ability to this is a library that actually could be considered a MegaMagic pads library. All these sounds come from my Access virus. So I'll have to find the picture for when it comes out, but I took my virus and my camera gear and my drone and my dog, stayed at an Airbnb for like 4 days in Crescent City. In fact, here's a patch called Crescent, which is at night with the ocean, and you hear the lighthouse. And you know, if you put ocean sounds and stuff to this, you get the sound of waves. So And so I would drive around and take pictures during the day. And then at night, I would make sounds. Just kind of like drawing upon photos and things that I remembered from what I explored. So it's a fun library. Some of these sounds exist. If you go to the standard library, and if you go to Del Norte, I did include all of the attacks that I originally created for this library in the factory library of Unify, and I included this small handful of the synth sounds from this library. But there's 35 different synth sounds that are 8 samples. This is a library that was originally made for Omnisphere, so I didn't sample with the same number of samples compared to what I'm sampling now with new libraries, but 8 was the limit inside of Omnisphere, and it was very challenging because you have 8 sounds and it's 8 separate patches. So if I had a sound that I really liked, I couldn't just change the filter like this on all the sounds. It was impossible. It'd take editing 8 separate patches. So, and now this patch list, if you can see, it's considerably larger. It's not 5 or 6. So this will be coming out. It's a $49 library, but next Thursday for 2 weeks, it will be $29. That's to cover all you guys that own previous copies and any other iteration. I want to make it a nice upgrade price to get this library if you want to get it. So it'll be $29 on Thursday. And there's some fun things, other things we can do with this version of the library in Unify, because we can load patches into itself. So all of the attack patches in this version have a separate patch, so you can play all these really cool attacks. And if you want, you can set this to Unify a layer and go to any other synth that you own and go to any other thing like Plux and call this up and it loads it as a new Unify. Now you have this really cool attack layered with whatever synth you want to layer it with. Right? And so I'm also doing some stuff where if you go to the actual library, you'll find in Synth, I'll have made more of these by the time the library comes out. But let's see, when we get to right here into the Synth, there's a couple that say attack. These have 2 layers, one of them being a separate attack. So you can call this up. And you can go to the second layer and it's the attack. And now you see all the patches, so you can... Oh, I think I'm doing this as a new Unify layer, so shame on me. Oops. Go back here to Synth to attack, reset the whole thing to be. Give you this cool little ear candy tingle to go in there. And now you can... There's 135, including breath and Plux. Which is really, really fun. These things, especially the loops, if you take down the filter and then turn this down, these can add really cool kind of like D50-esque, kind of the transients and body samples. Right? So you can give breath and all sorts of things to patches. So it's going to be a cool library. So that's coming out Thursday. So we're going to make some patches for this at the end of the video. Yeah, $29. I want these because I've made these libraries before and they've been out. You know, I don't mind opening it up and making a cross-grade. It's kind of like a cross-grade price for everybody. I'm just assuming everybody already owns this, which is not the case. It didn't sell to everybody at all. But I just want to be fair and make it cool. So is there a link for the unified augmented strings? Oh, you know what? I might not have gotten those. You got to join my newsletter. Every week on Friday, I put out news and include links for all the new updateds. So let's do this. Has glitches. There's not really glitches in the contact version unless you're trying to use it in Unify. And then there's just a bit of a challenging relationship getting contact libraries to work in Unify because the patches save sample location into the patch, and that's a glitch and unfortunate. So sorry about that. Let's see here. Let me give you the links for the new unified libraries because there's 3 libraries for 3 plugins. And yeah, you're right. I didn't get a chance to put those up on the site last night. I got everything else done, but I didn't do that. So Arturia's Augmented Strings. Let me see right here. Minted Strings. And let me make sure I'm giving you the right version. I am. So copy Dropbox link. Go over here and paste. There it is. For BX Oberhausen. Oh, okay, good. Yeah. So, but if you don't have the newsletter, I'll still take a second here and put them up here. Brainworks Oberhausen. Copy Dropbox link. We'll look at these in a minute, but I'll get you the links now for them. And then there's a new synth from Air called Tube Synth. And you can get it for the price of $29. And I wouldn't say it's a great synth, but it's not bad. The patches that come with it are very limited in use and for me. But I made 6 bonus patches at the end of the list. I'll show those to you in a minute. And here is the link for the Unified Library in case you want to pick up. How to subscribe to the subscribe, just go to pluginguru.com. This is my cute little humble website. Let me make sure you can see this on here. And if you scroll down to the bottom of the list, it's right here. Now, if you've joined my newsletter and then unsubscribed, then you can't resubscribe without emailing us. So email to Unify support at pluginguru.com, and that will get us to where we can go to our email serving people and reissue a confirmation for you to send to confirm being a subscriber to the newsletter. And I want to point out also, just since we're here, like someone said, there is a bundle available and it's still on sale until Monday night. Since we're in Easter weekend, I decided to keep the sale going. There's also Renegade is available. And let's see, what else do I have up here? The library for Unify, that's a fundraiser for Ukraine called UNITED, is available. And then the Hello Spring, 30% off everything at the site. So if you go to the product page, you will see that everything has been nicely discounted 30% automatically. So you just add it to your cart. Great savings for the weekend until Monday night. And thank you to all of you that jump on the sales. I appreciate it. So yeah. Yeah, now if you're, let's see, Will, which library or plugin are you talking about? Yeah, we'll take a look at there's been reports from a lot of people about trying to get Augmented Strings downloaded. Arturia is being hit hard because it's a 2 GB library and it's free. That's a lot of money they're paying out for just people to download a plugin that they made for free, but hey, God bless them. It's an interesting plugin. So let me show you this to start. Well, we'll start here. So it's a string. It's called Augmented Strings, right? So we should probably show the strings first. Some of these I went through and put a little bit more information in what you're going to get when you call up the patch, because the names are very nondescript, you know? Augmented, of course, means modified, changed, and so don't expect this to be like a Spitfire orchestral string library. It's, well, when you look up the interface of it, and it's obviously not just an orchestral library because it's got these like fragmented cyber versions. Oh, but Gmail is not showing it. Well, that's not good. So yeah, sometimes check your spam folder. Gmail has a great habit of putting things into spam. So go in and change that if you'd like. As you can see, the morph, in this case, changes it to synth. Are you going to do any more? Sure. Are you going to any more music shows to? Good question, Kendall. I would like to. We're not going to be showing at the NAMM show. I'm going to go to the NAMM show. It looks like I've booked 2 nights, but our distributor Ilio has chosen not to be there. Korg is not going to be there. From my understanding, it's going to be half of a NAMM show. So that's an unfortunate thing. I'm not planning currently to go to Super Booth. So I'd like to, but you know, I don't have the finances to do that right now. So anyway, so you have these knobs to play with. So you can change color, which is basically filtering. One thing that bugs me about this, and I hope this is something that's only in the intro, is it's mono retrigger. So if you play, the same notes over and over again, that's not how the full version better be. So I have a feeling they capped and limited this so that the full version you will want to own, just if nothing else, so you can play strings and they sound good, because this sounds not so realistic. Very easy to make it sound really, really bad. Right? So kind of a lesson in, even when you have really great samples, if your engine is capped and limited. Now, if you play it in certain ways, you won't notice that. So but anytime you play the same note more than once, it's going to cut off the previous note for the new note. So it's free. So you can't complain too loud, right? You know, you just can't play. Now, interestingly, if you notice in the interface, it has, I believe, 7 or 8 knobs, right? There's 7 around it and one in the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 8 knobs total. If you go over here to the knobs, as you can see, I've got those set up on the first page. And then I have on pages 3, I've got pitch, I've got synth pitch. I've got over here layer A mix, layer B mix for the effects. If you go in and you look at the parameter list, go link parameters. Let's say we give it the full range and hit the plus button and go instrument and go augmented strings. Look at all of these freaking parameters for here. Let's count them so you can see what's going on here. So here are your 8 real-time controls: master, volume, morph, color, time, motion, effects A, B, delay, reverb. Sampler 1, there are parameters, including times multiplier, the envelopes, no filtering at this point. Sampler 2, then you have Synth 1, which has its own set of parameters, and it includes such things as wavetable position, granular, start and stop, harmonic, harmonic FM, all this stuff in here to play with. It's got phase distortion, it's got fold per synth. There's Synth 2, which has the same list of parameters. Then they have this layer A, which is where you have filter cutoff, you have comb frequency and comb filtering, gain and feedback. You've got an amp envelope and a filter envelope. Or the filter envelope. You don't really have an amp envelope here. That would be in the synth or the other parts. So they each of the two samples and each of the two synths have their own amp envelopes, and then there's a filter envelope at layer A point. And this has a huge list, including all of these effects. It's pretty. There's a lot going on that you can't get to if you're just using the front panel of the plugin. But inside a Unify or inside your DAW, if you just go to automation, you will see all of these parameters that you could get to inside of Ableton Live or something like that for layer A. And then here's all the parameters for layer B. Chorus, delay, tape echo. I think somewhere in here, there's like something where it says like Roland chorus or something like that I saw. Chorus Juno 6, rate and depth chorus, which is different than their other chorus. So they have two different choruses. So you can kind of see what the engine can do, even though they're not giving you access to this inside of the plugin. So you could access and select and set those all up on real-time knobs if you wanted to change parameters in the sound. I have the filter cutoff knob. That's the filter cutoff knob, which is different than the color knob, which doesn't, in this particular case, it doesn't change much. But the filter cutoff knob, it goes right into the full filtering for. I open this up. If you open this up, I did it for both layer A and layer B. There's other cases. Now for the synth phase modulation and fold and FM to work, the patch has to have that part turned on. A lot of these don't have them turned on, but if you get down here to some of the textures, I name these under my own naming systems because this is definitely a texture. And now these don't do anything. Maybe Dark Drone does. No. So it will be limited in some cases as to whether patches work or not. Oh, it's a Pigments engine, right? That makes sense. Yeah, I mean the concept of taking one synth and repurposing it as another synth and selling it as a new plugin, yeah, it's kind of like contact libraries, put a skin on it, do what you want, and hey, it's a new plugin, so interesting. So there's all these different strings. Some are better than others. They all, again, it's not supposed to be real. This is augmented, so. So there's tons of stuff. There's different harp, pluck, right? So there's more going on under the hood than you can see from the interface, as you can see. So I for the Unified library, I spent some time and I hooked up some additional parameters to this. So enjoy if you want. It's a free plugin. It's pretty cool. It does take a lot of CPU, but it's 1.0 release, so I expect kind of like Tails, the reverb from Unfiltered Audio. Hopefully those get optimized and new things are added to this. I'm just going to briefly mention Oberhausen. It's a free plugin through the Plugin Alliance, celebrating joining into another company where they hope to make even more money. So they released one of their $249 plugins for free. And now this is a library that, like I said, I worked on this. If you go to the authors, you can see that I'm in here. So all these patches you can call are by yours truly. Airwave also made all sorts of cool. Right? It's a great synth. I mean, the TMT is cool. It gives it a little bit of variation, analogness to the quality. If you hit the little tab here, you can see you have effects that you can see, which give you some controls over some different sounds. Horrible reverb. The distortion is really, I mean, I'm not going to say what's bad and good, but you have distortion, flanger. The air band is really great for bringing in a little bit of extra air. Very, very nice. So we've unified this library. It was actually done last year by Jeremy, and then I sat on it. It just kind of fell in the cracks. And with this happening, I dusted it up, did some knob assignments to it, so we've got control over. So you can play with the parameters. Right? It's awesome. So that is a unified library. The link is in the video description. And then the new synth is from Air Technologies. It's called Tube Synth. Interesting interface. It's got a tube that glows in the interface. So Tube Synth. Let's point you to, you can get it either at ADSR Sounds or Plugin Boutique for $29. It's $49 retail. And it comes with 304 patches. Shane, thank you, Shane, for unifying this library. And as you can see, as you bring up the drive, you get a glowing tube. It's kind of strange that, you know, this oscillator has a sub oscillator. Oscillator 2 doesn't. It has a drive knob right here, but there's no tube that glows up. I want another tube that glows up when I move this drive. That's no fair. And it doesn't sound as cool as this tube. Oh, this is the mixer. There you go. But it's interesting that they have drive up here and then they have drive right here. They should have thought about that a little bit more closely. Anyway, there's some decent sounds for it. They're just very basic. They do what they do. You know, we all have a synth that has 1,000 of these patches already. Now, if you add drive to this, bring down the envelope. Now, where this would really tell, if you click right here, you can drag to change between the different wave shapes. Let's get this to be more pure. Where can I be? There's a ring mod, sub-os. It's only one low-pass filter. It doesn't have, from what I can tell, variable. Oh, it does. It does. Sorry, slope. You can change from 0 all the way to 24 dB. So one way to tell the strength of a filter is something like this. You can really hear how, like a 3-pole filter, it doesn't touch the high end, but as you bring up the slope, you'll hear how much sharper that filter is grabbing into higher frequencies. It's a pretty tame resonance, but it's nice, musical. And then at the end of the list, there's 6 bonus patches by yours truly. I wanted more stuff that had glow to it, so I did some glowing thing. I did a patch with pulsing and stuff. So. It actually has just a slow motion that's rhythmic inside of it. Another patch of Watching Whales. Plucks. So this is a free unified version which has 6 bonus patches to go along with the 298 other patches. But you know, it just depends on how many synths you have. If you really need more synths, I didn't find a lot in this that's like, you know, the tube overdrive is nice to have. It'd be nice if the drive could be post filtering, and I don't think there's an area down here to change that. You do have compressor, you have, instead of EQ, they call it hype. How helpful is that? Chorus, delay, reverb. You've got 2 modulation sources. Their control destination is where you get to velocity for filter control, and you only have 2 for velocity, 1 for aftertouch, and the mod wheel can only be assigned to one of 5 different parameters. So it's kind of a preset target limited synth. Also, it's only 10 voices, which is interesting. But there you go. So I'd like to show you whatever is new comes out, especially if we're supporting it with something like this. Let's see, where'd you guys go? There you are. Who's the guy that makes all the yellow Euro rack stuff? Yeah, there's a lot of things. What about a D50 for 29? No, there's no Craig. So that quote was, I was showing an attack transient from Del Norte that's coming out as a layer, and I was giving it kind of a D50 quality to a patch. Like, you could take something like this, go to Del Norte to one of the attacks that are looped of wind, load this as a new Unify layer, and now you have like a D50 component. I'd use a different patch. I wouldn't use that type of a patch, but And I said it's going to be $29 when it's released next week. And you can do kind of attack transients like a D50. It's not a D50, but that's the voicing kind of concept that a lot of the D50 stuff had. So you can add layers to anything to give something breath, because this layer, I use special software to move everything but the breath and then looped it. So you can use this in really cool ways for pads and all sorts of things. So, and there's all these different wind attacks. So no, there is no D50 coming for $29. There's a library coming for $29 that has components you can layer like you can do in the D50, basically. So there you go. So Tube Synth, that is the other third synth that we have unified. So you have Augmented Strings for free. You have Oberhausen for free. I would highly recommend that if you guys are interested in that kind of stuff. And then Tube Synth is a $29 tube-based analog synth. Yeah, well, I will be making patches that will make you go, that's cool. I heard stuff like that from the D50, you know. In fact, in just a bit, we'll be making some patches for that library. Yeah, we don't have any bass in. I know that Daniela is on a search for patches for the human voice. Boy, that's a tricky one. There's a shareware synthesizer, guys, that you can have singing for you. Do you guys remember the name of it? I've showed it. I could go searching for it, but I'm not gonna. Let me see. It's Plug, Alter Ego. That's what it is. Okay, close. So if we call it Plug, let me show this really quickly for Daniela. Plug. I don't even Plug, Alter Ego. There's voices. I think this is more for saying phrases and things of that nature. Let's see if this even will load. Waking up my computer because it went to sleep, I think. Yeah, Plug has different voices and things of that stuff. Oh, maybe it's not going to load. I haven't tried to load Alter Ego into OS X 10.15. So let me see. Alter Ego. Let me. Real-time singing synthesizer. Daniela, this is your new best friend. Here is a link for Plug. Can you buy Tube Synth by itself? Yes. In fact, I think I put a link. Or no, I didn't, but I could. Here. Tube Synth. Here is the link for it from Plugin Boutique. Plugin Boutique. And then here is the link for ADSR Sound if you want to support them. ADSR. And it's also $29. So ADSR. There. So you have those. And Vocaloid, right. That can do some virtual singing kind of things as well. Yeah. Okay. Well, I think we've locked up Unify by trying to load an old plugin that's not responding. So we'll exit out of that. It should work. If I should work. There's my voice. There might be a new version. I haven't updated Alter Ego in a long time. So that will get you into some singing land, but it's synthetic. It's not realistic. Our friends at Zero G, he just released a new vocal library that's incredible. It's not cheap, but it's incredible. Stefano made it. Z G home. Oh, here. No, it's not Go 0G because that's. I think I'm on the wrong webpage. So I typed in 0G. Go 0G. Here's what you end up. Okay, we'll come over here and try that again. 0G music plugin. See, professional sample libraries. So here we are. Phaedra. Here it is. Atlantis, I believe, is the new one with singing on it. Oh, and it's wow. But this has incredible vocalists, legato and everything like that. Vocal library for singing. So if you want something in that land, Stefano created this. And oh, and there's even an Easter boost to get extra 20% off sale prices and stuff like that. So that is, here's the link for Atlantis. If you guys want to check this out. 0G Atlantis. Yeah, the new song from Pink Floyd was really cool. They did a thing on, they took a song from the Ukraine. That was wonderful. Okay, so now we all get into, okay, if you have real singers, then you don't even need a plugin for sure. At this point, let's play with some patch programming. I want to do a bonus added library to United. So let's do something for this library first. This is a library supporting Ukraine. I'm going to take the synth. This Pure Synergy is a patch. Which just has just the right. I'm going to minimize it down to just one layer. And if I do that, I need to go to the knobs and say, hey, knobs, I've moved things, so remove all invalid links. So anything that's not connected is now deleted. Let's play. So Guru Sampler, let's do a little synthesis 101. We're going to play with the filter. I'm going to turn down the filter and I'm going to turn off velocity. So I just have the filter itself. And I want it to be a stronger filter, and listen to the frequencies, how they drop when you go to 24 dB. This is important because you can make it to where it's like a razor. Or you can have it be more wide. Right? Hear how you hear high frequency even though this is down here. So I want this to be darker. Let's try to make a really nice dark pad. And I want to have it do a little bit of growth. So I'm going to bring up the filter envelope and I want to have an attack start up and then fade out and sustain at 0. Just a little bit. And then I want to change the shape of the amp, which is the volume. So let's bring this up to about 5, and let's bring the release up to about the same place. Now I like my attacks to be a little bit faster so I can play. My kind of rule is to be able to play quarter notes with a pad. Right? If it's slower than that, then it's hard to use. Now, what should we layer with this? Let's see, what else did I have in here? I don't think a TB303 bass would be all that useful, but we could go to the standard library. That's the nice thing with having the standard library, is this is a database of all sorts of things we can add. So let's go over here. I want something kind of airy to go with this. So let's go to the air and wind, and I'm at pan or ocarina might be nice. Let's try ocarina to start with. So let's load this into a new, I just want instrument 1 layer. So I can see where I'm picturing this first, the wind sound hitting and kind of going away, but having reverb on it, so that then this pad can kind of fade in and heal kind of in a way, right? So let's do this. Let's mute the pad for a moment and open up Guru Sampler. I'm gonna bring the filter cutoff down. And then my decay determines how fast that fade out is. Don't want any resonance. And I don't want it to totally fade out, so let's bring the filter sustain. To where I want it to sustain just a little bit. And this can fade out and get softer overall. Okay. Now, on top of this, let's try our reverb. I'm going to go over here. A reverb I really like for this kind of case is Zenverb. This is a reverb that actually has 2 different reverbs in it that can basically, it's one reverb, but you have control over the time based on frequencies. So I want to have this second one around 6, and I want it to be really, really long. I'm going to boost that frequency range. There, so and I can have the low, I'm going to have that be a little bit long, but not quite as long at the top, you know. And then on top of that, let's add a little bit more reverb from Water Verb. Make this really long, but I'm going to add just like 40%. Because this will chorus the reverb. Even at 25%. Here's without it. Here's with it. And on top of that, I think I actually want a little bit more air. So I'm going to go EQ and add a flex EQ. And then I'm going to click and drag to put this before the reverb. That way I can say I don't want to use a shelf. Well, I could use a shelf. I'm going to just crank the frequencies above a certain frequency. So I'm going to play. Hear how there's not a lot here? There's a lot in there. Okay. So it's a little bit too much on the mix. So let's bring this down to like, let's say 40% here. And let's bring this down even more to like 20%. Okay. Now, if I now add that with the pad, now I could make this attack slower, and I want this filter to be even darker because I want this to come in a little bit later. I want to first right? Cool. Now, sometimes I like to do things where I will take a layer and I'll use the duplicate option. And that way I've duplicated this, and I'm going to mute the first one, and I can now go what I call fishing. I can go to the standard library. Let's go to something like Signs of Life, because I want something that's really warm to like add a little bit more extra like butter to this. So let's go Signs of Life. I have these like pad, Gentle Rain, slow violin. I want some of that kind of thing. But I want even more low end. So instead of adding EQ, I'm going to use loudness. Which does this really, really cool thing. I believe it makes the low end below a certain frequency mono and boosts it. I don't know what it's doing. But it takes something from this to this, just adds this extra girth to it. So now when I put that with my other one, and let's have this, the pad of the violins. I don't want it to swell quite so much. I just want it to always be there. Right? Cool. That's very pretty. And to think we can start with a really super bright sound. So let's go save. We'll put a Z. If you make patches, put a Z at the beginning of it, since it's a bonus patch for the bonus part of this library. In Calm We Trust. How's that? So there we go. I'll just say bonus patch. Made in Livestream on April. Today's the 16th, right? Yeah, 16th, 2022. Save as to the United Library in Calm We Trust. Okay. And I'll be making some more patches for United. I'd like to get maybe another, maybe if we can get to like 10 patches. We got Radio Recrain. I think we made that a week ago. Right? So this library can go all sorts of fun places. So I'll make some more patches for this. The drums are really fun to combine. Especially when you get into Alan Summerlot, some of these things are just so cool. I mean, very inspiring patches. It's really, really cool. Let's call it TB303. I want to do like square head, distorted square head, velocity switch. Oh yeah, so that. And then I'm going to go over here and add MIDI box. And inside of this library, if we go down here to United and click, there's a whole bunch of bass sequences. So I made a whole bunch of TB lines. Let's add a delay. Let's maybe make it like a band pass. Let's distort it. Let's go over to this patch here. Let's bring up the pump pals. So I want to add another drum groove on top of this. Let's say Let's see, Kindle, what can you bring to this? Let's go to something like, let's try, well, we started with sparse. So let's just chill. Let's see, going local. Let's try some other patches. This is, that's cool. Okay, so we've got a good start. Let me take the bass up an octave. And let's right click on all of these to make this a split. We'll make one more patch here, and then we'll go make some more really quickly in Del Norte. So for this, I'm going to use a different TB303. So let's go up here to the 3 basses, and let's say Squarehead Blatty. Let's see. Oh, ow. I want ow. Load this to a new Unify layer. And let's right click on the low note to set it to a split. And let's go up here to adding another MIDI box, just to see if we can find some sequencing insanity to play with. Go to United, and let's call up a different tube sequence. That's recycle, recycle. Those are all recycle grooves. So let's go distortion. That, and let's maybe add something that's more like just a basic, like the hall reverb, or even like ambience, or this might be fun. Let's just early reflections from here. Gives it like a gated effect. Okay, so let's see, Z, BPM split. I'll clean this up some more when I'm off air. Being funky. No, we call it Chunky Monkey. And we should set this up so that the, I know what we got to do. So let's go solo up here. We need to get Guru Sampler. Let's have it go notes. Let's bring down the depth. So see, it's going so far dark that the distortion doesn't have anything to play with. That's cool. So that's fun. I can add some more stuff. I'm going to add something else to make this a chord. Up in the right hand, I think that'd be really fun. To do that, all you have to say is duplicate the layer. And let's do this. Let's go into the sample list and change this just by click, 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 click. Let's bypass Swanky Amp on this one. Transpose it to fifth. Maybe not. I could have it even do the opposite direction, so when the other one's going down, this goes up. Uh-oh. Wow, we crashed. Okay, well, that happens. Oops. I'll save the report so we can take a look at it. Oops. Tonda. But because I'm using the standalone version, my microphone works. But okay, well, I had saved a version of Chunky Monkey so I can get back to it. So that's not too great of a loss. So I can go back to United, and Chunky Monkey is here for... That's why you save even in work in progresses, right? So that when you crash, if you crash, no matter what it is you're working with, Tonda. You know, we love it when it crashes because we want to know about the crash so that we can fix it so it won't crash for you. So there's always stuff like this going on. My gosh, what are you guys talking about over here? Can we get a link to Daniela's song? I began with a 3-track tape, then 4-track tape. Okay, so do you guys have any questions? I'm kind of over here just doing my thing. I just want to make sure this is okay thing to be doing. You guys are learning from this? This is helpful? Yeah? Let's say you want to make your own TB303. We'll do programming with, I'll do my Del Norte programming on my own. This is kind of fun. I kind of have some stuff I can show you guys that might be helpful for, I want to get some action going on this bonus content for this library. Nobody's done much. Yes, if there's time to do anything for United, let's do it. I want to make some more patches for this because it's really fun. So I'm going to show you guys how to make your own TB303 bassline. So let's go over here and find a TB303 bass patch. And these are programmed on purpose to be kind of weird, where velocity, soft is one sound, hard it's another sound that's very different. So you can get all that kind of squelchy, cool, fun stuff going on, right? Now, MIDI box is here, but it's bypassed. And we're going to keep it bypassed because I'm going to work in Logic for a minute. And I'm going to go record. And... oh, I recorded audio. I don't want audio. Delete. Record light's not supposed to be, I'm supposed to be down here. Record. All right, one more time. I almost got it. 1, 2. So there it is. How's that for just stroke of genius? But let's quantize it really quick to 16th notes and Command T to split it. And it's not playing because it's not yet sent over. So let's call this TB303 C minor lick 1, because maybe I'll make more, right? So copy this, export it, export as a MIDI file to the desktop, and it will show up here. So now, because I'm using Unify and standalone, hello, where's my MIDI file? It might have, you know what, it might have put it, I have 2 desktops. Let's see here. Open this up. Go here. I think it put it to here. Date modified at the top. Yep, here it is. So here's the MIDI file. Now, for this to work, what you want to do, you want to go reveal the library in the Finder. Go to the library itself. We want to go to, this is United. And you want to go to the MIDI files folder and then make a folder with your name on it. Skippy New Ideas or Skippy United MIDI. Whatever you want to name it, name it. Don't put weird characters in it, and then put your MIDI files into your folder. So that way, what you're going to send me when this is all done is, here's my MIDI file folder and here's my patches. So that I have a MIDI file folder that I can put into the MIDI files folder. And now by doing that, when I go to the United library and I click right here and I go to the MIDI files folder, there is now a folder that says Skippy United MIDI, and I double click that. And if I have this enabled, it's there. And I can slow it down. And then I can go over here and I could add something like a JL Groove Defender. That makes it a little bit cooler for the drums. Now I'm going to hold down Control and Option and click this, which is the same thing as going right here and saying replace with embedded instrument 1, which means that it's going to take a look inside of this Unify plugin that's in this layer and grab layer 1, whatever's on instrument layer 1. It's going to replace this with that. So that way I don't have to keep opening Unify and then opening the plugin. If I go like this, boom, now I can just open this to open up Guru Sampler. And I kind of want to split this. So let's do this. We're going to go duplicate. Actually, we're going to do it this way. So let's go Guru Sampler. Oh, no, I want to use MIDI box. And I want to cap this. I just want to play the kick. Because I want this one layer to only be the kick. So there, it's only playing the kick because I've changed the output range to only be the small bottom part of the keyboard where the kick drum is. Now I can duplicate this. And I'm going to solo this one. And I want to play everything but the kick. So I can go all the way to the top. There. So this way, the kick is on its own channel for mix, EQ, tuning. I can even go to chorus and transpose. And I can find a different sample if I want. That's more what I'm looking for. Then I'm going to need something that's just playing a bass note. So let's go up here and get another TB303. Let's say Blatty. That should be cool. And say load this to a new Unify layer. I just want something to sit there and do Blatty stuff. So again, that's going to work. So I'm going to pop it out of being a Unify layer and turn on MIDI box. And I have different patterns, so I can just... Right? I like that. Let's do this. Make the release a little longer. There. And then to get a little bit more round, I could go noise box. No, I want this, since it's the bass, I'm going to have it be a little bit more locked to the low and the loudness. Doesn't take much. Cool. Let's get another crazy drum group going on top of this. Let's call this, I have a funny name for this one, BPM bass. It's just a baseline thing. It's called Who Owns the Trees? How's that for a crazy name? Livestream 4/16/22. So save as. Who owns the trees? Okay. So I'll keep working on bonus patches for this. And then I've got a lot of work to do for, do you guys want to go over a little bit? Should we be on time to quit, or should we go a little longer? Okay, so I want to make one more of the synthy kind of patches, longer. There's some really, really cool patches in here. I love. Here, I can show you something kind of cool. Keep on rocking. Okay, if you guys will hang around, I'll show you some more stuff. So I'm going to show you something kind of interesting. This is one of the cool abilities, as you can see, is we can add graphics to our libraries if we want. You could do this to your own patches. Let me show you how we do it. I've got a folder with photos I took when I was in the Redwoods. Here they are, so you can see them. I took my drone and flew it all over the place. It was really fun. So I want a photo for this. I haven't used that yet. These are cool. That's some of the purest water. It's called the Smith River, I believe. Oh, maybe one of these. This is one from above the redwoods. I flew my drone up above the redwoods, and that's the top of all the redwood trees. Yeah, that works. So this is number 9. So I copied the name of this. And then there's this. So here's how it works. You have a folder called Media. In there you have a folder called Images, where you put JPEG or PNG images. And then you need to have a file outside of that that's called links.txt. It's just a text file. And inside of here are the text files. And as you can see, the patch name and then the image is all you need. So this, I'm going to, let's see, it's called Ladybird. So it's pad, Ladybird. You name it the same name as it shows up inside of Unify. Not the name in the Finder, but the name inside of Unify. And then quote, images slash, and then paste the name of that image and save. And by doing that, next time I load Ladybird, watch this box. It's going to all of a sudden, boom, have a little blue box around it, which means there is a link that when I click, that image now shows up. And what's nice the way it's done is if you change the size of the interface of Unify, it doesn't skewer it to be weird. It keeps its aspect ratio, but will resize it for you. So if you make it really big, it's big, you know? But it doesn't lose its aspect, so it doesn't go cartoony or something like that, you know? So, and all the images are the same size, so you can set this to roughly about the right size like this, and then play the library. And click it again in your bag. Right? Now I want this to be a fast synth patch. So I want to make fast synths of all the pads. So let's bring the sample start later. And because this has some cool, interesting stuff, I want this random to be there. That's kind of cool. Maybe I want a cool attack to layer with that, so I can go up here to one of the attack patches, load this as a new Unify layer, then open this up and go through. Now there's some fun things we can do to the patch. On the macro knobs, I have set up so you can say turn off key pitch. So now every note, and then change the tuning. And then I'm going to open up the Guru sampler. Kind of works. Let's get rid of the low end. So let's say from like some there down. Yeah, I want to make it more velocity sensitive. That's kind of cool. Let's make this more complex. Get another snappy something in here. Let's take something like Monumentus Simple and Add this as a new Unify layer. These sounds are so massive. It's just wonderful, wonderful sounds. Let's get rid of the bass boost. Let this also be snappy. And instead of stereo gain, I'm going to go over here to EQ to flex. I don't like my click yet. Another thing is pitchy G. Can be really handy. There. That's cool. Killing my output, so let's turn this down just a little bit. Need a little more sizzle globally. Just so we can cut the mix. I think that's in the right place. So you can play it this way if you hold down the notes. But if you play short, kind of a, let's call it double-edged sword. So save. This is going to this. Hold on a second here. I want to name this after these other guys. So it's synth dash attack dash. So synth dash ATK dash double-edged. Cool. All right. Save as and save. So, and it's subtle, but without that attack, you might want to do something like give it some ambience. Maybe its own, like give it its own room might be nice. Go room, Dragonfly room. That helps because now it's not dry, it's combined with, it has that room to it. And then what does the mod wheel do is always the last question I ask. In this case, things are set to go down. I'm going to go up, and I'm going to put a little lag. So it kind of goes slowly. And let's go over here and have this one also. I can choose how I want it to be. So now you can do things where it comes down. And then you can direct it like a director by like that. All right, so we made a patch for the library. So this will be out Thursday. Can't wait to show it. All right, we'll do 15 more minutes. I want to make one more patch because one thing I want to do, I'm going to make some wave sequencing patches with this because all these attacks are dying, literally dying right now. But they want to be put into rhythmic kind of stuff. So I love the conversation just keeps on going. So let's start from init. And this is one where we need to use a MIDI effect from the MIDI effects above because it's going to be talking to a lot of layers. I'm going to just go down here. I'm going to right click and say load instrument 1. And let's go down here, like right click and load. I am not doing this with any sort of pre-planned anything. Then I'm going to right click on the N and say, all of you guys talk to MIDI effect layer 1. So that way they are all talking. And then we need to change the MIDI channel to 1, 2, 3, and 4. So now there are 4 different MIDI channels listening to whatever happens up here. And I can go to my layer presets, and I think, did I ever do... I did polybox. Here's 4 layers, but I need to get a MIDI box in front of it. So let's add a MIDI box. For library, we'll say standard library, and I'm going to use to start. I love to use these. Where are they at? Single part MIDI grooves. That means it's a single note playing a rhythm. So let's say an 8th note accent. Let's do 8th note. Yeah, let's start there and see what happens. So right now it's only playing on MIDI channel 1 because this is before polybox. So move this after polybox. And now it's playing. And then open up polybox. We want this to be set to chord auto reset. So I now have a wave sequence just like that. That's all it takes. Pretty cool. Let's go to this 4th sound. Let's have a reverb on it. There. So I've made a real cool little simple wave sequence. And then I want to go over here to maybe one of the synth patches. Like Kirby. Let's load this in. And let's give it, let's pop it out of its skin and put a MIDI box on it. Let's go Unify standard library. And inside of here, let's look for bass. Right here, bass MIDI files. I have a whole bunch of bass lines. So I could do something like this if I wanted to. There's so many places to take this. The other place to take this, because it is playing polyphonically, let's see, let's mute this, right? I could add a pad. We could say something like Six Rivers Sign, which is really beautiful. Let's load that into a Unify layer and right? And I could take it even farther because there's parameters set up on the knobs for all these patches. Let's bring down the filter cutoff. And turn it into a rhythmic pad. And we could let's layer something else. Let's say Kate Blanco Simple into a new Unify layer. This instrument one. And then this one here, I'm going to put it rhythmic as well. So let's bring down the filters. Bring a filter cutoff. But the shape, instead of being this, I'm going to go to the presets. I need to make some new rhythmic ones, but so stuff like that would be fun. That's cool. Let's see. Maybe Kirby. Maybe Kirby can be doing, instead of this, can be doing blue ARP. Let me save this before we get too much farther along, because this, anytime I get something that's like, ooh, I'm going to save it. So BPM pad, working it in the forest. Save as. Let's open this up. Let's go to the presets. Let's take it up an octave. Now it's very static, so let's give it some life. Maybe instead of the snappy, let's do this. Let's give it something like a triangle shape. So it kind of does the... bass part. Let's put a little delay on it. That's fun. And then I want one more thing to make a huge presence to this. I think Klamath will be the one to do the job. So let's say like this. I'm gonna pop it out of its layer to start and turn it down in brightness. And so here's the thing that's fun with Unify. Check this out. This is 8 layers, wave sequencing, all this stuff going on, and it's using like minimal amounts of processing. So let me save this. For those of you that don't know, if you hold down Option and click Save, it's a quick save. It's the same as going over here and clicking Update. It will update a file that already exists in the directory, so it's a fast way to just save it. But here, as a comparison, Arturia, Augmented Strings, just call up like the Marcato strings and play them, and just to play one patch takes up considerably more power. So yeah, so anyway, yeah, I love to use this software. There's no doubt. I have spent lots of time playing and working with it and perfecting, and Shane's worked with me, and get crazy fun stuff going on, you know. All right. But it's cool up here that and I'll have it all, the knobs will all be set up so you can like make the wave sequence go away and stuff like that. I mean, if you bypass this, it's oh. Now each time I play a note, it plays. I see. So, well, I'll probably mute the layers themselves. But anyway, all right, let's get out of here. Shout outs. I'm going to do my shout out from Portland, Oregon, where it needs to be a little bit warmer, please. Then you go over here, you want to make it like serious. You want to get serious? Oh, really? Let's do this. There you go. Now I need to get this brighter. Baseline. How's that? Turn it down just a little bit so that I can kick the kick up just a little bit more. It all works together. That's what we say all the time, right? All right, Edinburgh. I never can say your name, that location, Pete. You have to like spell that out sometime. Is it Aiden or Eden? Edinburgh. Edinburgh. Kasaka-san. Domo arigato in Japan. Shout out from Denmark. Good to see you, Will. Yes. Get yourself a little melodic techno. You need to own Serum for this library to work. This is one Airwave did that has no prisoner techno grooves that add that to everything else, and I mean, just fun stuff. So thank you all for your support and hanging out. It's crazy that, what, 80 of you are still hanging out here. That's crazy. So have a great week. I am feeling much better. I have to learn a whole new way of eating because my body... Oh, we didn't even add any mastering effects. If we want to make this even sweeter sounding, just even optimizer light. Boom. So much nicer. Here's without our mastering effects. Here's with. Is that much more? Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I have a condition/disease called diverticulosis, which is a weakening of the intestines from sitting on my butt all the time and not eating well and not exercising enough. So life-changing stuff happening so that I can take care of myself and exercise and walk more and eat better. It's all good. It's something needed. I mean, I've lost almost 25 pounds in 6 weeks. So I am a much more svelty skippy than I was at even a month ago. So much better, much better. So I'm in happy spirits because I'm on the other side of this situation. I'm learning how to take care of it. So sometimes life throws these curveballs to you and you just got to keep on rocking, right? So be well. You're in Portland. Walk. I know. But it's too much fun making patches, man. I mean, I don't have time to walk, but tired but good. Yeah. But I'm good. Everything is good. So be well. Thanks for your support. I appreciate my family here. You guys are great. Shout out from Tucson. Good to see you, Mark. Welcome. Welcome to all of you guys that might be new to see this. And we'll see you next week for another one of these fun hangouts. All right. So be well.